I mean, this is genius. This is a coastal tile because it has a navigable river. I mean, yeah, this. And look how great it looks, and it looks great while being functional. I mean, you gotta come from here. You gotta go to there. But yeah, it's a river tile as well. Look, oh, it looks fantastic. The game looks fantastic. Like the 3D section, like 3D render section, or the artist who create the renderings, right? Well, and the logic behind it as well, right? Mm. Looks looks awesome here as well. You need iron and a coastal. Well, there you go. Yeah, just to be in the be on the side of Firaxis, not to bash, but I mean, I got loads of criticism. It's not finished. It's not finished. But yeah, I got it all here. So
Okay, so starting with the options, there's what is the banners about? Another banners?
No, no, no.
That's a good point. And also maybe being able to right click from the next turn button. So the banners should go away instantly.
when it's banners, it's the tutorial banners that doesn't work the same as everything else. So if you wanna play this on auto enter, and you gotta have it off. That's what I realized. But yeah.
Having to click 3 times. Also, unit lists are not here, and the unit list is very useful. I've lost my other cog. I can't recall what the banner for it is. I think it's the destroy box. I think it hasn't been implemented yet. For Civ 7 future updates, what do I see? The ability to go longer with the city, so it won't be limited to 3 tiles. They should grow with restrictions in mind, but without restriction on the actual size.
Oh.
Like, you could have the longest city possible, but it would make sense gameplay-wise, right? I'm not saying the gameplay issues are actually good because we want to discourage it, but there are some cases where you just need to have side-by-side tiles. Or maybe some other kind of tile. There are urban tiles and rural tiles. So maybe if there's a third kind of tile that enables you to get the tile, but it is nerfed in some way. I think that the game I'm playing, Civ 7, is not finished and it's a bit too easy. I mean, not everything's easy, but there's a few things that seem a bit too easy. I'm playing against the hardest difficulty, and they don't settle.
Very hard.
They're all playing tall. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's a mess up, but they don't settle. This is my first game ever. The game just came out, right? I love the aesthetics, actually. It looks fantastic. 5 was maybe my favorite, but this looks a whole lot like 5, but with better graphics in 4K. It's good. The gameplay is refined. It's Civ 6.5. It's the same engine as 5 to 6, now 7, but there's huge differences that sure make it its own game. But is it its own game, or is it just an expansion like colonization? Actually, it suffers from the exact same thing every Civ game has suffered. The vanilla is not ready, it's not fully fledged, it doesn't have the content required, and yeah, a lot of polishing is required still. I mean, there's a few big changes that might have to be done. There's a few accessibility things missing here. Yes, custom colors, custom fonts as well, custom text-to-speech engine, or just rip it off Microsoft Edge. I use the Microsoft one, then like talking access. Hotkeys are not visible. They do work, but they're implicit by knowing how to play Civ 6. I'm playing 7, not 6. How much info do you have of it? I just want to make a list out of everything that's not so good, right? One thing they should also improve is the setup. There wasn't like the start option is on how much you want of resources or even the actual start location. Does that have ample resources? Well, just don't. Everything that was in 6 still is in 7 if it's the same engine. I'm not sure why
I
the hell
take
it ain't there.
refuge in
Like
the Buddha.
everything, honestly, everything.
I take
mean,
refuge
why
in
would you
the
take such
Dharma.
functionality away? That's my question here, right? Yeah, focus on that, because I'm just gathering up a list so I can actually make some content about it, and maybe people will agree, and maybe there will be some changes as the patches will be coming throughout, right? All right, that's a good one, actually. So, the start bias could be overwritten, but I think like, even if I had more than Civ 6, because I want a legendary start, with ample resources, with thick vegetation, no hills. I mean, just having the parameters there such that you could tweak them, I mean, that'd be all right. I mean, of course, it'd be in the advanced setup. Yeah, it's a sandbox game anyway. I mean, yeah, preset for sure, but it could be done with a map maker or something, but it should be able to be done with the script, and that script should have a graphical user interface for the parameters. That's the setup screen, right? Yeah, I mean, first take whatever was in the earlier games and bring it back. That's the first, right? Because, yeah, I mean, obvious is obvious. You shouldn't take away features people spend time with, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Could you actually just give a manifesto? Every single option there is possible to be made, starting from Civ 4, including 5 and 6? Just make a list, don't have duplicates. Just make a list and spit it out loud. I want to know what parameters are there that could be used, right? That was actually good. Yeah, there should be you should be able to choose your resources and have distinct variables for them. And there's no Pangea? Can't you make it so it works with Pangea? I mean, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, I mean, if they won't do it, we can always mod it. What kind of mod support does 6 have? Is there any word on mod support for 7? Do you know on what? Is it a proprietary engine and the whole platform? No, I'm asking, do they use a specific framework that someone else has provided, with documentation available to code this whole game? Or the games 5, 6, 7, so would it be easy to jump in? I'm not saying they're using Unity, but is there some kind of framework they are using, could you just check which companies are affiliated? So we got Havoc. What else? What else? Why can't you give me specific details?
Yeah.
We're talking about artistic render issues.
Yeah.
It's fair use, I said it's fair use, and
Yeah,
it's
it's fair
artistic
use,
rendering
that's what
of
it was.
the features missing from Civ 7, as previously mentioned. A good
Yeah, not going open source now, but enabling fair use of the products by giving out assets that won't compromise your position. You don't give out the beautiful, but the most basic, metadata, basically. So, what is needed, right? In what format in order to do what? Because I'm not in the modding scene that much, but I know that there has to be a legit framework if things want to go smoothly, right? So that bit Gemini was saying that there's not that much public information available. I mean, I get it. You don't want to get ripped off, but if you want the community to help, everyone's got to use the same standards, right? And those standards are the actual game engine. And if it's fair use, well, then you can fair use it in your product. So intaking mods. If someone makes a mod, just copy it because it's your product, isn't it? So yeah. But read a lot from here.
A good point. If we don't have workers, why isn't there a panel, a dashboard that handles each and everything that the workers used to handle? Can I micromanage my specialists? Or do I have to just set them once and that's done? I'm not sure. Maybe I need to learn about it as well. There's no such thing as a campus or industrial. When I'm expanding my town or city here, they're not called districts, are they? Yeah, I want to talk about how the yields and staying up, that's what I want to add as well. There's the button to turn on the yield and the extra and the resources. They're all over the place. If you click a settler, it'll mess that things up. A great idea. You have dual monitor support, so you got the main and then you've got something with stats or some dashboards, maybe even the strategic. How about 3 monitor support or 4 monitor support? There's a lot of data that could be displayed, right? Yep, that's a good idea. I'm thinking more of, I'm not saying accessibility features per se, but accessibility features so that it's just easier to see when you're retired, to use the whole thing with a tiny, tiny trackpad. If so, I'm not saying accessibility features per se. I'm talking more all people can be momentarily inaccessible to basic function that way. Like a controller, you must have 2 hands on it at all times. See, if you can kind of play with only the mouse, but what if there is, then help us to do that only with the mouse, only with the keyboard, and then you can buy it. Yeah, and we're not trying to make the whole thing accessible to a wider audience. We're trying to make the audience itself have an easier time consuming the product, more ergonomic, more appealing, more physiologically rewarding, right? It's a bit too cluttered. You want to be able to zoom out more, but at the same time, you need to have the UI big, so we can read it fast. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I like using that color to denote a dimension. Well, there's 12 colors and usually 7 in one piece, so there could be actual different palettes for different leaders, and within each palette, there's, a big color A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and use those, that would be how you code it. Not every leader is going to have their own color. They have their own color palette. At the moment, it's Duo. Hey, this is they call these God games. So you're the creator. So let's take a step back from gaming and think of other creators, like 3D creators, video creators, maybe still image creators. What kind of information are at their disposal, usually in their workflow tool sets? No. I mean, what is the most, the common denominator, nominating factor within all those industries? What's the isomorphism? What each parameter is polymorphic in said industry? And I want to then see what that is in a civ system. No, 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 no. Take those common denominators and apply that to Civilization 7. Yeah, how old concepts could be implemented in an easy-to-read, a metric, telemetric dashboard that has functionality as well? Yeah, so that will be the second monitor. How easy would it be to mod something like that, or create a program that runs on top of 7? Again, this is single-player focused, so it won't be cheating or anything. Yeah, because it's... Does Civ have any kind of outboard-facing API, or a standard where you could plug into a stream of data, or could this be made with a multiplayer game? Another one of these critiques that has to be changed. The most hard AI just gives cities away. They just gave cities away. No, 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 no. It's not frustration. I'm listing the things that should be changed to make the game more challenging for people that want challenge in their life. I don't know, I meant like, the other games, they work fine. This is kind of ridiculously broken. Like, 5 was at least too hard, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so what did I say? Because you didn't actually answer what I said. You just threw something on top from the top of your head. So I was we're not talking about using resources to do this. We're talking about making the AI, like, superhuman, utilizing these resources. We're not touching the resources. The AI just doesn't seem to know how to use these resources. I'm just throwing out the points here. So, and the data used to mean something, and they used to be the difficult. Is it in cold, like, stated Meyer? I mean, if they keep data, they got to bring Sid. Yeah, well, not like, they're not solutions, they're just ideas, and the ideas, the main point is that it should not, like, do it so it cheats, so there's, like, it shouldn't give the AI buffs that are not possible by the player. They should be on the same level playing field, but the AI should just know how to execute. Yeah, I do, actually, making the AI, actually AI. So, no script, not a script, just they make their own decisions, like, you know what I'm talking about. Actually, yeah, you could utilize the parameters LLMs to use, like, top K, P, temperature. Then there could be no safety settings, the safety net for those who just want to, win, or those who just do not want to win. Oh, yeah, there are other ways to increase difficulty, but the thing is, do we want to increase difficulty by making the AI just overpowered? Like, we give them the resources, and you start on desert, that's a lot, that's one way to make it more hard, but I think there is this, we want a constant experience, that's what we want. I mean, challenging for sure, but, consistent, that's the other thing, because if you want to, like, there has to be a way to always win, If you're good at the game, you're going to always win, right? But there has to be a grandmaster level, Yeah, let's start with just a master, not a grandmaster. We can make it harder. Of course, we can make it harder. But let's start with making something that is consistently difficult, but still always winnable. So the case in point is we need to talk. We need to teach AI to understand. And we need to, verbalize the whole logic of Civ so that will fit into a large language model. And then you have the other way of that function. So it'll just talk, and then there's another script that takes that song and makes it into actions so that it would be So you could actually make pretty decent variable AI with large language models, like true AI. I'm not talking about the computer because they're not even trying. Right? There probably could be, a database of each user that the AI can use then to teach itself and just, know, because if you'd be playing chess before you're playing someone with a high yellow, you'd be studying them, right? Yeah, Firaxis should hire me for it. Well, next topic, actually. This is the list of what should be changed for 7, during the first 2 patches, right? Could you go even further up and give it, a full manifest of what I've been saying here now for a bit? The unit icons, there should be color coding for the class, and the icons themselves could be a bit more visible, but they should be color coded by class. And also, if it's a wonder, it should have its own color. If it's a building, it should have its own color. These things with the plus. I'm not understanding why it's just a plus. It should have a plus food, or there was in Beyond Earth. Civilization.
Plus.
Beyond Earth, there was this affinity system that used 3, like harmony, the supremacy, and purity. These 3 affinities could be somewhat the ages, and that could be variables that determine something, I'm not sure. So, that would help out creating a unique unit, right? So, you'd have unique units, so you have the real good upgrade tree, this having the commanders or things. Okay, I guess this will work, but using that system, so you'd have, no, I think they could be. The things they're trying here is, I get the point, but it could be done in a way that's actually symmetric. Old affinity should be like rock, paper, scissors, archery, magic, and melee. Maybe it's gunpowder and agility. I'm talking about 3 and 1 for age, right? 1 for age, and you can mix and match, and the DLC should definitely add on to more ages. So, there's 5 ages, prehistory and postmodernism. Oh, yeah, the scenario editor. So, I'm talking about a scenario language, so you can, script it easily, not easily as a human, but somehow that in not some high. AI knows this scripting language, the scenario scripting language, right? Then AI knows it. You first tell it in and tell the AI in English what you want. Then it translates that into the scenario script. Yeah, I got the language. You'll be using a SSR, a special type of comma-separated values. So again, we had the start parameters. They could be like in this comma separated values. It's just a system problem. So the AI knows what kind of game R is the player looking for. Is it a casual game? Or is it like, no, give me your best shot? No, a new topic that I forgot about. Oh, yeah, renaming units. Renaming units, that's all. Every Civ game has renamed units. It's just so people can like, you can't even rename songs now. No.
Right. Right on, right on. I was just listing the things I talk with her yesterday. I got a few others, like the yield icons, they stay or go however they please. You can't click on the minimap. I mean, or you can, but does it work? Yeah. No. Yeah. What else? It's 4:20 a.m. and yeah. I got more, but I think that's good for one bit. But yeah, if you got any suggestions on production or anything, just give a shout.